Hey, it's Gregory Kallenberg from the Film Prize. I cannot tell you how happy and lucky I feel to be here with this filmmaker today, because today is Top 20 Filmmaker Interview Day, and it's another fantastic film that will be playing at Louisiana Film Prize 2021. Remember, Louisiana Film Prize is September 30th through October 2nd, where you, the audience, get to see 20 short films that were made specifically for the Film Prize, and you, the audience, gets to see all 20 films and help award one filmmaker $25,000 cash. By the way, $25,000 cash is the world's largest cash prize for a short narrative film. You can get your tickets at prizefest.com. And remember, this year we are doing entry, or I should say this, you can only attend if you show us a proof of vaccine or a proof of a negative COVID test. We want to keep it safe so that we can get inside, we can have a lot of fun, and we can celebrate the amazing work of the filmmakers who made films for Film Prize 2021. And speaking of amazing work, and speaking of filmmakers, and speaking of having fun, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the virtual stage, Ben Donnellon. Did I pronounce that correct?
It's Donnellon, but everyone down there
Donnellon.
says Donnellon. So
Donnellon. Let me do this again.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the virtual stage, Ben Donnellon. Hey, Ben.
Hey.
There we go. Fantastic. I got it right. Who knows?
Thank you.
Hey, hey, Ben, if we could, let's start with you telling people the name of your film, a bit about it, and try to avoid any spoilers.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So the name of my film is Gary, and it's basically about a girlfriend trying to help her boyfriend get ahead in his job and things going really, really wrong. Yeah, maybe that's all I'll say, but it's, it's a domestic dispute wrapped inside a possible felony. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, I will tell you, you definitely walked right up to the cliff, Ben. You did, because it is such it's a phenomenal film, and it certainly is something I want so badly to talk about some of the nuances of it. But why don't we start with really where the idea came from?
Sure. So where did the idea come from? I always had the idea of somebody being like, I don't know. It started from somebody being locked in a bathroom and unable to get out, and thinking that somebody else might be in the house. And it was a feature film, and it sort of evolved from that idea into this idea, and it kind of took a couple steps to get there. But basically, maybe another way to put it, another angle that I took from it is I wanted to have sort of a big, high stakes event happening in two people's lives, but what matters more is just a domestic relationship fight. So I just like that premise, and I wanted to play with that.
It's interesting because a lot of people do sort of Film Prize shorts that are sort of helping lead them into the feature world, and a lot of them sort of accomplish that. I was going to ask if the film was about you. I'm glad it's not.
Well, maybe some of the relationship parts are, not necessarily the illegal stuff. Also.
Well, I mean, I am curious. I saw some very interesting, I think, perceptions, or my own perceptions of what I saw as maybe your influences. I'm curious what if you do have influences as a filmmaker, i.e. other filmmakers or other films out there that maybe helped give birth to Gary.
Sure. I love humor very much. I'm a big Charlie Kaufman fan. And this isn't so out there as that, but he's got a certain dryness to his humor and the way that characters interact with each other. So he's always been an influence. I love physical comedy. There's a film, Clue, which is a sort of a family favorite, where I kind of took a lot of the body language and movement of this film sort of from that film.
It's, it's funny. I think that in the hands of other, or I should say, the hands of probably 96% of the actors that are out there, I'm not sure you would have accomplished what you accomplished with the cast that you had. I'm curious how you cast this, where you found those actors, and how, or what was the experience like directing them?
Sure. So I had the pleasure of working with both of them several times before. So we had kind of formed a relationship working together. one of them, the male character, is just a friend that I was in a film collective with, who was also an actor. So I got to see him play a lot. And the main female lead I worked with on some professional like hotel shoot, and she was just one of the background actors, and we just hit it off and started talking. And she was looking to get into more short films, and so I casted her for a film before this, and she just blew it out of the water. So yeah, just from kind of fostering relationships from past film experiences, I knew that they were kind of perfect for these roles. I sort of wrote the piece with them in mind.
Well, I don't want you to be too George Lucas and not give too much cred to your actors. Once you call their names, just so that they.
Sure.
Yes.
Gian Smith played the male lead, and Patricia Guevara was the female lead.
I love that, and I think that again, they did an absolutely phenomenal job. So you were one of the ones that took advantage of the Film in Place program. Of course, if you're in Louisiana, you're a filmmaker in Louisiana, you have the ability to film in your hometown if you're the director. So the director has to film within a range of their hometown. I'm curious about that filming experience that you had, and what was that on-set experience? Again, we are, I don't know if you heard about this, but we're in a pandemic. So there's all that weirdness, but you were able to get true purity, cinematic purity. I'm curious what that on-set experience was like.
Yeah, so it was difficult as sort of, towards the end of grad school when I put this film together, and there's a bigger project in the works. And because of COVID and the pandemic, everyone had to scale down, so really had to change everything up and work with a very small crew in just one location. And it was sort of difficult to get everything together, but luckily I have this seasoned crew members that I work with, like Gerald Lewis, who's the DP, is just amazing, and all these people I've worked with before. So it was a little bit easier to kind of use a smaller amount of crew and get what we wanted to get, just because we were so familiar working with each other. But yeah, it was tough. I mean, filmmaking is such a collaborative experience, and you want to try to bring in as many people as possible. And I feel like a lot of people were shorthanded with the pandemic, but it also lent itself to, increasing your creative juices to figure out how to make this work with less resources, less people, like all those things, and really force people to innovate and make something perhaps more original than they would have intended.
There's always that moment when a filmmaker turns it in that I'm always curious about. Whether I realize that no filmmaker is really happy with what they turn in, but this thing, it was super tight flying into the rough cut stage, and I'm just kind of curious, what was that like turning in that film for you?
Yeah, there's still some things I'm working on, but I felt really good about it. I've been, just trying to think of how much of it changed from the actual, writing part to directing, and what actually made the cut. We definitely lost a lot of beats that were humorous beats, but like just weren't really working with the story, and we're kind of slowing it down. So definitely a lot of edits, cutting the fat in that way. And I guess overall, I don't know, I feel pretty good about where it was at during the rough cut. And I had a good amount of time to edit it. And so, yeah, I feel like, as you said, there's some things that you want to change that you just can't, and it's kind of, you're past that point. So, but overall, I was really happy with the way this came together. And I think Gian and Patricia and Todd, who is in the film as well, making an appearance, Todd Volz did a great job as well.
So I am also curious. People turn it in. It sounds like you really were set it in on the rough cut that you sent in. I don't know how much you know about the Film Prize, but as I said before, this year we were shocked at the amount of films that were turned in, but even beyond that, at the quality across the board of the films for Film Prize that will be showing at the festival. I am curious what that experience was like, hearing your name called as part of our top 20 class of 2021.
Yeah, I was blown away and super grateful to have been given this experience. I mean, because I know usually it's just open to people around the Shreveport area, right? And it was expanded because of COVID this one year. And I'd always wanted to like go in Shreveport and make a film and participate in it previously. And obviously the pandemic things get a little more difficult, but I really love that it was opened up, and I imagine a lot more films were submitted because of that. But yeah, Chris came and he talked to in my school and gave like a really good overview of the film festival. And since, you know, I've always been aware of it since I've been down here for 5 years, and so always wanted to be a part. So yeah, I was kind of blown away and mystified that it got selected, and I'm super excited to be part of the 20 films that are going to be shown.
Well, and we're very excited and honored to be showing it too, Ben. I'm going to give you an opportunity that is very unique in the sense that, you know, again, there's an audience. We're going to be releasing all of these videos Netflix style, so you know everyone has that equal opportunity to kind of get the films out, kind of get to know the filmmakers before heading to the festival. What would you tell your audience, and why would you tell them to vote for Gary?
Interesting. I think Gary offers, in addition to the English language, in terms of terminology that we use to sort of go about our daily world, in terms of sort of how we can describe things. And I was trying to sort of introduce a new idea or phrase, I guess you could say. And I feel like that's a good takeaway from the film. And I also think it's just a very enjoyable film. And I think a lot of people can relate to it just from some of the rough cuts I've shown. People related a lot to the relationship aspect. And I love comedy and a lot of like slapstick comedy. And I think it's just like a good, hopefully a feel-good film, and with an unexpected ending.
You know, I really want everyone to see this film and then go back and see this video, this interview. I feel like I've been so misdirected and given so many huge Easter eggs all at the same time. It's been amazing.
Circuitous, yeah.
Yeah, you've done you should be a politician, is what you should be. You're that good. You're that good. So Ben, I will tell you that there is a moment on October 3rd where you're at a brunch with your fellow filmmakers. We bring out a big check. Check is like this big.
Yeah,
and, it's massive, and you can't cash it at a bank, but that check is representative of the $25,000 cash.
Sure.
We unveil the linen on it. We all call the name together. The name that we call is Gary.
Yeah.
What does that feel like, and what do you do with the $25,000 cash?
Man, it's hard to even imagine that happening. But I mean, the feeling is just, I don't know, probably can't be described. And, you know, I'll probably be at a loss for words, and just, you know, I'm going to watch all the other films too. And I'm sure after watching them, I'll be like, well, Gary did a good job. But, you know, just among all this other talented films, I guess I'll be blown away. And so grateful to, you know, what I would do with it. That's a good question. I would say a little bit of student debt here, and then the next film production probably as well.
I love that. I love that so much. Hey, listen, so we're going to close with a little Viva la Film Prize. Is that cool? But I'm going to take care of a little bit of business. So I'm going to let you gather yourself, gather that energy, and get ready to just be able to push it out to the universe so that everyone comes and sees Gary's and puts Gary at the top of their ballot. Sure. So again, this is Gregory Kallenberg. Again, I'm doing top 20 filmmaker videos. I cannot wait for you guys to see Gary. It's a fantastic film. Remember, you can get your tickets at prizefest.com. Prizefest.com. The dates for Film Prize are September 30th. Dates for Film Prize are September 30th through October 2nd. You can see all 20 films. Vote for your favorite. That favorite has a shot at $25,000 cash. Again, you get your tickets at prizefest.com. Also, very important, remember, in order to attend Film Prize, you need either proof of a vaccine or proof of a negative COVID test, no older than 72 hours. So again, we hope we get to see you there. I hope you get to see this film. It is phenomenal. Ben, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna do this on 3. You gotta do it right. You gotta do it with some heart and some spirit. You ready?
On 3 or 3, and then we do it.
I knew this was coming. I knew at least one of these filmmakers would do this to me.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Viva la Film Prize.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Viva la
Film Prize. All right, that's Ben Donnellon.
Yes, you got it, Gregory. Thank you.
Ben Donnellon with the director of Gary. Good luck, and may the prize be with you, my friend.
Awesome.
Peace.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you at Film Prize.
Yeah, great talking to you, Gregory. Appreciate it.
Good talking to you, man.